Page 340. What about our arrangements? We don't have an arrangement yet. He narrows his eyes, and he seems to remember himself. Releasing my hand, he takes my elbow and leads me out of the room. This conversation is not over, he whispers threateningly as we enter the dining room. Oh, Crapalola, don't get your panties in such a twist and give me back mine, I glare at him. The dining room reminds me of a private dinner at the Heathman. A crystal chandelier hangs over the dark wood table, and there's a massive oriental carved mirror on the wall. The table is covered with a crisp white linen tablecloth. It's set with a bowl of pale pink pickings at the centerpiece. It's stunning. We take our places. Mr. Gray is at the head of the table, while I sit at his right hand and Christian is seated beside me. Mr. Gray reaches for an opened bottle of red wine and offers me to Katie. Mia takes a seat beside Christian and, grabbing his hand, squeezes it tightly. Christian smiles warmly at her. Where did you meet Anna? Mia asks him. She interviewed me for the WSU student newspaper, which Kate edits. I had, hoping to steer the conversation away from me. Mia beams at Katie, seated opposite next to Elliot, and they start talking about the student newspaper. Wine, Anna? Mr. Gray asks. Please, I smile at him. Mr. Gray rises to fill the rest of his glasses. I peek up at Christian and he turns to look at me, his head cocked to one side. What? He asks. Please don't be mad at me, I whisper. I'm not mad at you. I stare at him. He signs. Yes, I am mad with you. He closes his eyes briefly. Palm twitching mad? I ask nervously. What are you two whispering about? Katie interjects. I flush and Christian glares at me in a but out of this Kavanaugh kind of way. Even Katie wilters under his stare. Just about my trip to George, I say sweetly, hoping to defuse the mutual hostility. Katie smirks, a wicked gleam in her eye. How was Josie when you were to the bar with him on Friday? Holy fuck, Kate. I widen my eyes at her. What is she doing? She widens her eyes at me, and I realise she's trying to make Christian jealous. How little she knows. I thought I got away with this. He was fine, I murmur. Christian leans over. Palm twitching mad, he whispers. Especially now. His tone is quite and deadly. Oh no, I scream. Grace reappears carrying 2 plates, followed by a pretty young woman with blonde piglets, dressed smartly in pale blue, carrying a tray of plates. Her eyes immediately find Christian in the room. She blushes and gazes at him from under her long mascara-covered lashes. What? Somewhere in the house the phone starts ringing. Excuse me, Mr. Gray. He rises again and exits. Thank you, Gretchen, Grace says gently, following a Mr. Gray exit. Just leave the tray on the console. Gretchen nods, and with another further glance at Christian, she leaves. So, the Christians have staff, and the staff are eyeing up my would-be dominant. Can this evening get any worse? I scroll at my hands in my lap. Mr. Gray returns. Call for you, darling. It's the hospital, he says to Grace. Please start, everyone. Grace smiles as she hands me a plate and leaves. It smells delicious. Chilson scallops with roasted red peppers and shallots, sprinkled with a flat leaf parsley.